I'm Lucas, and welcome to Terracotta Aquarium. Let's talk about plants. It's Wednesday, and today is the day that I water all of the plants. I just woke up and got done feeding the fish. I'm taking a look at all of the fish tanks, and it's time for a water change on the newest Blackwater tank. Well, getting there in terms of Blackwater. I'm going to take some of the water out and then fill it back up, top off all of the other tanks, and then I'm going to take that water that I've taken out of the Blackwater aquarium and I'm going to use that to water all the plants. So, why do I do this? Well, that water that comes out of the tank is full of great beneficial nutrients for the plants. It's full of ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. And fish keepers in the audience may say, oh no, your water is full of ammonia. Well, don't worry. The tank that I'm going to drain a bit from is the tank that is currently cycling. So it has no fish in it at the moment. It's working through the nitrogen cycle for me to be ready to put fish into it. So as part of cycling, I'm going to do a water change today. And yeah, take that water out and give it to our lovely plants. Water from fish tanks doesn't contain any chlorine or chloramine. And that's because of this product right here. This is Prime from Seachem. There are a lot of products similar to this, but this basically detoxifies the chlorine and the chloramine that comes out of tap water to make it fish safe. So since I'm already using this in the fish tanks to make it safe for fish, it makes it safe for plants too. You can have long-term problems with plants using tap water. If you're using chlorinated water all the time, it can build up and cause like a chlorine toxicity. And you won't notice it as much in hardier plants like this fern here. But if you have sensitive plants and you don't know why they keep dying, it could have something to do with not using dechlorinated water. So I've got my watering can ready to go, full of water from the fish tanks. And this is my ficus. This is a ficus bonsai ginseng, something along those lines. And I've also got this trusty moistometer. If you plug this into the soil of the plant, it basically has a reading on it that will go from dry to moist to wet. And if you want, it can also show you the pH of the soil. This is super handy in not overwatering your plants. So basically, what I do with each of my plants is I just find a spot in the soil, plug in the moistometer, and see what the reading is. And I will usually do it in just a couple of places, just so I can see if there's any dry spots on the plants. So I'm getting a fairly dry reading for my ficus, which isn't good. I can also see that there's a leaf here that's dropped down, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm just going to take my can of fish tank water and just give it a little dabble. I'll generally go until I can see a bit of water pooling in the plate in this case, or whatever you have the plant sitting in. And that way you know that the soil is totally waterlogged. That's the ficus water. I'm now going to take my trusty moistometer around the rest of the house to all the plants and see if they need anything. I give Kimberly almost like a half of a can as well, because she is pretty thirsty. I always make sure that in the bottom of her pot here there's a little bit of water, because the number one problem you have with ferns like this is definitely underwatering. So I'll usually water this one like twice a week. It's been dropping leaves a little bit, which is a pretty clear sign that it needs water. when I have plants that are on a pretty high up shelf, like the one behind me, I'll generally just bring them over here, put them on the table on a towel, and set up a little watering station, and so I can get a better look at them and just test them from here. This pothos is actually thriving. This plant actually has a bit of a story to it. I started it by taking a cutting from my parents' house. Well, more than a cutting, more like a vine. And I started it, sort of propagated it in one of my aquariums, and then took that aquarium down and took the vine and planted it. And since then, all of this growth here, like these big leaves, that's all new. And it's kind of growing towards the light where we have it. But it's fun to see the crossover between the world of houseplants and the world of aquariums. It's always a bit of a pain to take this pothos down because it's really starting to creep around this bar we have here that's holding up the light. And I kind of have to dismantle the jungle a little bit to get it down. This is a ZZ plant, and I'm going to check the soil, but from what I understand, ZZ plants actually like it pretty dry. Apparently in their natural environment, they go through long periods of drought followed by heavy rain. So it's important to let this one really dry out before you water it, otherwise you can have this sort of thing happen. I don't know if you can see, but this leaf is a little yellowy brown, and I think that's because I watered it last week and it really didn't need it. So it's reading dry on the moistometer, but I think I'm going to let it go another week just to be safe, because it's looking beautiful and I don't want to ruin that. Alright guys, well that is all of my plants watered with this nutrient dense water that I got from the fish tank. Hopefully you guys learned something about the benefits of using aquarium water in your fish tanks due to the lack of chlorine, chloramines, the density of ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate in this water. And hopefully you can kind of see how these two hobbies are connected, and they can really bring you health benefits and enrich your space, just be a stress reliever, and give you a really nice place to come home to every day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in upcoming videos. You can see behind me, I've got this tank right here. This will be a black water tank. I think I'm going to put some alder cones in it today to start getting that black water look going, and maybe add some floating plants. But I've got a video on that in the works. You can see over here, I've also got this tiny shallow aquarium, and I'm actually going to turn that into a mini indoor pond for the ficus that I showed earlier. So stay tuned. I've got projects that I'm working on, and I'm excited to see you in the next one. Thanks.